Hey folks, this is Rhykker with a gaming news wrap-up video where we discuss the happenings of the week. In this week's episode, we'll discuss the World of Warcraft Family Guy episode, Path of Exile's insane April Fool's joke, the return of Deckard Cain, and more. Feel free to check out last week's episode and make sure you have subscription notifications turned on to be alerted of new episodes. As we dive into the news, feel free to reference the timestamps in the video description to skip ahead. And we'll begin with some quick news for the upcoming game Shadow of the Tomb Raider. The team has released some incredibly high-resolution artwork for the upcoming title, and this is all building up to the eventual April 27th official unveiling. Now, starting on March 19th, the official Tomb Raider website started putting up puzzle games. Every week would see a new puzzle up until the official unveiling on April 27th, teasing something about the game. I'll drop a link in the description below if you want to try out the puzzles yourself. We're currently on week 3, and the puzzles have definitely been themed with a very Mayan feel to them. The first week's puzzle offered us a wheel with stones with Mayan glyphs on them, and the goal was to align 3 identical glyphs in a column. Keyword identical because there are a lot of very similar looking glyphs. The second puzzle was basically the same thing, but you had to align 5 glyphs instead, but the third puzzle brought in something new. While it kept with the theme of the stone rings, this time you had to line up a sequence of numbers that would point to a specific date. The catch being that these numbers are in Mayan numerals. We won't give away the answer, but I encourage you folks to check it out yourself. Now, for completing these puzzles, we got a couple things. The first and second puzzle revealed pieces of the concept art that was eventually fully revealed, but all 3 puzzles also gave a piece of a star map, and it's not yet clear what those may point to. However, the biggest perk for participating in this event is that your name is entered into a drawing for the chance to win a trip to either LA, Montreal, Canada, or London, England, for the official unveiling event at the end of April. On to some World of Warcraft news. The official release date for the Battle of Azeroth has been revealed, August 14th. That leaves us with only 4 months, and with it currently being in alpha, some players have raised concerns. Based on the alpha feedback, it seems there's still a ways to go to get this launch ready. Will Blizzard be rushing this out? Blizzard used to very much go by a when it's ready philosophy, and their games were notoriously late, but I feel in recent years they haven't really been rigidly holding to that anymore, and they have been releasing games and then just planning to patch them, fix them later, and it's sometimes shown. Hopefully this won't be the case for Battle for Azeroth, but what do you folks think? In other World of Warcraft news, the Family Guy episode that was promoted as being a World of Warcraft episode. We had these splash art posters mimicking the Battle for Azeroth cover. That episode went live this weekend, and I haven't seen the episode in full, but on the official YouTube page, they seem to have the entirety of the World of Warcraft clip from within the episode, and it's basically a 1-minute segment, and it's possibly the cringiest skit I've seen on Family Guy ever. It was a Leroy Jenkins skit. Yep, the big hyped World of Warcraft episode for Family Guy turned out to be a 13-year-old joke that's been done to death, and they didn't even do it in a creative way. It wasn't imaginative, it wasn't funny, it was just bizarre, cringy, and it begs the question, who was the target audience here? Because surely gamers are done laughing at Leroy jokes, at least with no unique twist on them. Non-gamers probably aren't gonna get the reference. It was just cringy. Now, I haven't watched Family Guy in a while, but I used to really like Family Guy. What's happened? Is this just par for the course for Family Guy now? I think the saddest thing is the opportunity lost. They've done some awesome Star Wars episodes, and South Park did that amazing World of Warcraft episode way back in 2006. Family Guy could have easily done something that creative and fun and entertaining, but we just got this instead. So it seems the only really good news for World of Warcraft this week was the April Fool's patch notes. Blizzard always entertains with those. I'll drop a link in the description below for you to read them yourself, but a couple highlights are that a new feature will be coming, Appear Online. This is so that even when you're offline, you could appear like you're online to your friends. Another big note was that they were going to be introducing the Royale Battlegrounds, basically a Battle Royale mode for World of Warcraft, and this was just one amongst many jokes. The thing is though, while World of Warcraft joked about adding a Battle Royale mode, Path of Exile did it. Yep, for Path of Exile's April Fools, the game's head community manager Bex made a Reddit post saying, quote, "Based on community feedback, we are announcing that we have abandoned the action RPG genre to focus on what players really want. Path of Exile is being replaced by Path of Exile Royale, a 100-person free-for-all battle royale game. Path of Exile Royale is live right now. Just run the old Path of Exile game client and it will update to Path of Exile Royale." And they had a launch trailer for the event as well. I'll drop a link to that in the description below. I saw the trailer and I thought, hey, that's a pretty funny joke, but they actually implemented the game mode for real. Now, as per the trailer, it only took them 1 day of development to put together this Battle Royale mode, but it proved to be surprisingly popular. According to the Grinding Gear Games Twitter account, they hit number 13 overall on Steam before the servers went down, because they just had this running for April Fool's Day. The devs then went on to post on the forums explaining how they put this mode together, and they even have a section saying, quote, "What's the future of Royale? We've been inundated with requests to bring the mode back. It's a foregone conclusion at this stage that we'll be running it again in the future, but there's the big question of whether it can sustain itself enough to become a standalone game mode, or whether we should just have it as a cool event that we run occasionally. In either case, we have a lot of balance improvements planned that will make it more fun and less overrun by certain dominant skills." So basically, we have an April Fool's joke that may become reality for Path of Exile. And speaking of April Fool's jokes that have become a reality, Heroes of the Storm revealed its newest hero, Deckard Cain. Now, Heroes of the Storm fans have been asking for Deckard Cain for a while now. Back in November 2016, Blizzard was asking players for input on how to bring him into the game, what kind of skills, what kind of toolkit they would expect of him. And the big joke here is that in 2009, before Diablo 3's release, for April Fools, Diablo stated that they were going to be introducing a new class to Diablo 3 called the Archivist, which was basically Deckard Cain. One of his powers was going to be Lornado, which was a tornado, an energy twister of scrolls and books and tomes, and Deckard Cain in Heroes of the Storm literally uses that exact skill. That's one of Deckard Cain's alts, and his second alt is "Stay a while and listen," in which he tells a story and puts enemies to sleep. Now, if you dig into things deeply enough, there's actually a number of April Fool's pranks that Blizzard has done over the years that ended up becoming a reality. And it goes all the way back to the Secret Cow level. That started as an April Fool's joke before they made it a real thing in Diablo 2. Now, I have an idea for a video in which I go over all the April Fool's pranks that Blizzard did that eventually became real. Would you be interested in watching such a video? On the topic of Diablo, not a whole lot to discuss this week, however, there are yet more job postings. Some new ones appeared and some have been taken down. In other words, these jobs have most likely been filled. Now, we just recently covered job postings, so the fact that there's changes already indicates, again, that there's a high amount of activity going on that front. Job listings for character artist, senior character artist, and associate producer all gone. In other words, these positions have been filled, or I suppose you can argue they've been abandoned, but it's most likely that these jobs have been filled. New job postings include Senior Animator, Senior Technical Artist Environment, and Senior Software Engineer Graphics. So again, the trend with all these job postings that we've been seeing over the past months/year are that the job postings for very preliminary work, those are kind of going down, and more job postings for a little bit more advanced work are being introduced. In other words, at this point, it seems like we're progressing beyond just conceptualization stages. It looks like we're getting to the meat and bones of development here. And again, these postings point towards a new game engine, thus it's either going to be a Diablo 3 expansion that completely changes the game engine, or more likely, a new Diablo game. And for those who point out that it took 10 years for Diablo 3 to release, what you have to remember is that Diablo 3 was initially being developed by a different team, Blizzard North, who made Diablo 1 and 2. Midway through development, that game was scrapped and work on Diablo 3 was basically reset. The more accurate timeline is 6 years of development for Diablo 3 under Blizzard, under the new vision for the game. So a 2020 launch for a new Diablo game is a very realistic timeline. On to some Overwatch news. The Retribution event was revealed this week. We covered that extensively in a video. I encourage you to check that out if you haven't. We went into a full analysis of all the various teasers that we had, the leaks, everything that's happened leading up to the reveal and after. But some quick info is that the event will start on April 10th. It'll feature a new map, Rialto, that will eventually come into the full game, and Rhykker will be getting a Soldier 24 skin. We also had a new comic, again that's all analyzed in the video. Now, one interesting thing is that there already were clues that Rhykker was once known as Soldier 24. On Oasis, you can find a classified file for Soldier ID 24. There's also some research papers labeled Draft Repairing Degenerative Genetic Structures. Now we know that this is Moira's lab, and we know that Moira was at some point working on Rhykker. Now we already knew from lore that Rhykker had some genetic tampering going on, so we could have made this connection between Soldier 24 and Rhykker. Now the question is this old commando skin for Rhykker going to be what his Soldier 24 appearance looks like? Also in Overwatch news, we have some more mural updates. This mural first went up depicting Genji and McCree in their modern day skins. It's been revealed that where they are is Venice. This is the Rialto map. Then there was an update in which Genji was put in his Blackwatch skin, then McCree was put in his Blackwatch skin, and now Rhykker has been added to the mural. This photo is by Small Boop, and all indications are that we're also going to complete the quadfecta, and Moira will be added as well. Speaking of Moira, Blizzard has released a new preview for her skin, and what's interesting to note is that her Blackwatch skin is reminiscent of Mercy's skin. Her outfit, that is, the Valkyrie suit, which suggests that the Valkyrie suit is not unique to Mercy, but perhaps is something used by all medics/doctors in Overwatch, just modified to their specific purposes. In other Overwatch news, Jeff has given us a teaser of the upcoming Hanzo rework. He revealed this awesome concept art while also stating, quote, "We've done a lot of playtesting of his new rapid shot ability," that's the working name. "We're happy with that, the sonic arrow changes and the increase in speed of his arrows. It's all feeling pretty good." Before it goes to our visual effects and animation team, we do concept art. Here is one version of what it might look like by Ben Zhang. Disclaimer, this is just concept art. When we get into implementation, things can and will change. And in other Overwatch news, Jeff has commented on the possibility of a Battle Royale mode for Overwatch. In an interview with Kotaku, Jeff has admitted that PUBG has consumed, quote, hundreds of hours of his time, but he did say to not expect Overwatch to follow in Fortnite's footsteps anytime in the near future by introducing a Battle Royale mode. Jeff said that the Overwatch team has actively considered adding in a Battle Royale mode, but that Overwatch is a very specific kind of game, and sloppily grafting Battle Royale onto it could result in a nasty rejection. Quote, "A lot of times when I hear some of our fans pitch it, they're like, oh, just put a card in the arcade one day, that's a Battle Royale mode." And I'm like, damn, that would be awesome. But there's a lot of design and tech work to get us to that place and not just feel like a Me Too game. Apparently, Jeff and the whole Overwatch team are PUBG addicts, so they do love Battle Royale and they would love to bring it to Overwatch. And they've spoken a lot about how to bring it to Overwatch, and at this point they've identified the biggest stumbling blocks. Quote, "First and foremost, Overwatch is a game about heroes, and part of what makes the core loop work in a Battle Royale game is the search, the looting, and the fairness that everybody's sort of equal. Overwatch wasn't designed to be a 1v1. Every hero's not balanced against every other hero." Now those are all fair comments, but it is also interesting to note that Fortnite's team took only 2 months to develop the Battle Royale mode, and again, Path of Exile, which is inherently not balanced, took 1 day, and people enjoyed it. Just saying. But what are your thoughts? I know a lot of you folks watching my videos don't like Battle Royale, don't want to see more Battle Royale anywhere, but do sound off. What are your thoughts? Also in Overwatch news, on Friday, the Overwatch Twitter account posted a short video of a segment of Reaper's debriefing, presumably to Soldier 76. This seems to be following from the Retribution trailer in which Jack asks Reaper what happened, and this 20-second clip is essentially a non-answer that doesn't teach us anything new, other than stuff went bad. But I'll pop a link to that in the description below for you to have a listen yourself. And we'll finish off with some cool things in the world of Overwatch, starting with this Hanzo crossplay by Blue Marinvo. Then we have this Brigitte cosplay by Gerwinul Dalaran, and we have this Moira Banshee skin by George Sutherland Howard. And lastly, just kind of a random cool Blizzard-related thing. For Easter, Blizzard put some bunny ears on the orc statue at Blizzard headquarters. And that's going to wrap up this week's video. Remember to leave a comment on any and every story that we've covered. And if you have an idea for a story that you'd like to see me cover, feel free to post a link to that on our subreddit, link in the description below. Thanks for watching. Special thanks to my Twitch and Patreon supporters for making these videos possible. If you like what you see on this channel and want to support the creation of more content, feel free to pledge on Patreon. Even a $1 pledge helps. We've got backer rewards, including behind the scenes stuff, monthly meetups, and your support is immensely appreciated with some demonetization issues going on. If you enjoyed this video, please share it, check out these other videos, and subscribe to join Rhykkers Raiders for more gaming content.